What's up, guys, and thanks for joining me on another episode of Twisted Wrench Garage. We're back out here working on Ramona this time. Got some stuff we're actually going to get done to it this time. Luckily, I was able to source another passenger fender for this truck because, you know, this one's got a little bit of a whiskey dent there. Now, the one that I picked up, it did have a dent as well, and I'll put a picture of it because I've already worked a little bit. Couple dents that it had, and then here's the fender, what it looks like now. So you can tell I have worked it in that dented area there. That was real bad. In this area here, it could use some more work. I still have to sand all this down and continue body working it, but I mean, it's good enough to a point where I feel like, you know, I can put it on the truck and it's going to look better than what I have. There is another thing that we're actually going to put on the truck, and I've actually had it for a really long time, like 2 years, something like that, and it's just kind of been sitting on the side. And some of you guys have probably noticed, you know, I've got a couple of hoods over in the corner. One is my uncle's, and it's like a Challenger RT style hood, and that's going to be going on his truck, and I'm going to be doing the body work on that at some point. That's a fiberglass hood, and that's going to be a different process. But if you look right here behind me, we got the Birdbath hood. This one, I paid 40 bucks for it. You know, I couldn't pass it up. You know, it was way too good of a deal. It has some spots on it. There's 4 holes right here, which, you know, I'm not exactly sure what the heck that was for. I don't know if it was like they had a battery up there, or if it was like some sort of spotlight. Who knows? But they put some holes in it. It's got a few dents and dings here and there, but I mean, for $40, I just couldn't pass it up. I did have to order a new latch for it because the latch was missing on it. I didn't notice that until I came out here and was looking at it when I was getting ready to come out here and start doing this video. So I went ahead and ordered one of those off LMC. It was like 8 bucks. Wasn't too bad. But I think the first thing we need to do is we need to get that fender on the truck, and then we can get the hood on, make sure everything's getting to fit right, and then we can work on body work after that. We just want to get everything to fit and be right. So I think that's what this video is going to be primarily about, is trying to get that hood to fit right, because I've heard you have to do a few things to make them fit, and then we'll get past that and we'll kind of go over that if we can, and then we'll get that fender on. I was luckily enough to go ahead and snag up the driver one too. I went ahead and snagged that one up because it took me so long to find the passenger side. Why not have a driver's side just in case? There's a few things that we're gonna have to take off first to even start this process. First is gonna be the hood. We're gonna start working on getting the hood popped off. We gotta get the battery disconnected. I've already got it loosened. We're gonna just get that disconnected. I'm gonna need to get the wiper arms off. I'm gonna have to pull the wiper cowl. I'm also gonna have to pull off the front grille, the headlight bezels. I'm not sure about the front bumper. We'll kind of go from there and see if we have to. And then few things we'll have to disconnect from the fender side here. I'm gonna mark the bolts on the hinge so I know where I need to put it on the new fender so we can be close enough, and we'll kind of adjust everything as we need. So let's get in here. Let me get this battery disconnected. We'll start getting this hood popped off. Ooh. A little bit of corrosion on that. I need to clean that up, I think. Pull out these 4.5 inches up on the hood. Be careful when you're loosening these up because the hood will slide and it can hit your fenders. So I'm only going to take out one and then I'm going to loosen up the other one. What am I doing? I've got electric tools. I don't have to do this old stuff. you. Oh boy. Alright, as you guys can tell, I've got the antenna undone a little bit. I'm just going to use a black Sharpie. I'm going to mark around this bolt so I know where the hinge was when it was on this fender, and I'll just bolt it up the same over there. And that'll help me try to keep it, you know, a little easier to put everything back. Mark those. There's 3 on each side. I'm just doing this side though, so I'm gonna go ahead and pull the hinge off now, I guess. And these are probably have to. No, I almost couldn't use it. All right, well there's the hinge. We'll set that aside. And I'm also going to take the bolts from the hood. I'm just going to set those over here so I know those go in the hood. Alright, so now I guess I might as well start getting these this wiper cowl and the wiper arms off. And I think I remember putting some grease on those, so hopefully they should be a little easy to pull off, because I know they can be a pain. I went ahead and got the wiper arms off. Those were, I didn't put grease on them. That was a pain in the butt. We're going to pull these screws off to get this wiper cowl off. And I need to remember that whenever I pull this off, I need to pull these right here off, the actual actuators. I need to pull these off and flip them. Because whenever I got the truck, all of it was unhooked. And then when I put it back together, I accidentally put these in on the wrong side. So that's something I need to remember. That will actually pull forward, because it's got to come out from underneath this lid, and then you can lift it up now. All right, I might be able to reuse this. I've heard this cowl is different than the one that uses the Birdbath hood, so we'll find that out. I have the one that goes with the Birdbath hood, so if we have to use it, we can. I'm just going to put these screws right back where they were, just kind of hand threaded in there. That way I know where they go. I'm missing a few. I'm missing what, 2 in the middle? Not a big deal.
Are these things self-tappers?
Yeah, these are self-tappers. I mean, by factory used self-tappers to put in a lot of things. Trim, doing this here. It's all throughout the inside of the vehicle. I can't tell you how many self-tappers built vehicles back in the day. And they held up. I mean, they're still holding up now, so you can't really say nothing, can you? All right, that's off. So we're going to go ahead and we need to pull off the headlight bezels, the centerpiece grill, and then we can pull off this outside. I could do this way faster by hand. That's what I'm going to do. That thing is really cheap. I think it's already breaking down on me.
Well, you can always put a better motor in it. If you end up throwing it away, I'll take it.
I'm not going to throw it away. It still works. I'm going to use it till it dies.
I'll put a bigger motor in the thing. With a bigger rechargeable battery. I think I called mine.
Twist and pull. Twist and pull. We'll go set these in the bed. And then there's going to be 1, 2, I think there's 4 that hold this one in. There's more than 4, but I don't have all of them. That's what it is. Alright, now the grill can come out. Now you can start pulling off these screws here on the top, and we got the screws on the bottom of it up there and there. We'll have to get those off. So if you want to start from that side, and I'll come back over here and start on this side.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep pulling parts off. Because that's what we gotta do to make some changes. And I mean, I've had the Fender for this truck for about 2 weeks now. I've just been kind of putting it off. Plus, it's been stupid hot, like 104, like every single day. This is like the second day that we've had that's been decent, and it's still really hot. It's like 85 right now.
It's early in the
So,
morning.
trying to get as much done as we can before it gets too hot out here. Alright, there's our grill surround. It's really not bad shape. It did take a good hit right here in the corner. So I did grab the other one from the other truck that I got parts from, so if we have to use it, we can. Where'd that screw go? There it is. Alright, gotta pull off all my factory jack and stuff, all this out of here. Pretty sure that other one has it on there. I don't think it has the tools, but I can just dangle there. All right, well, I think, see up here at front. Yeah, the bumper's gonna have to come off. All right, so we are gonna have to pull the front bumper. There's a few bolts. There's one here, and then there's one down in there that we're gonna have to pull the bumper off to get to. So we're just gonna pull off the nuts on these carriage bolts on the front, and this should just pop right off. I think we'll be good to get that off of there, and then we can start getting this fender off. It really didn't take long to deconstruct this thing. Still got some trim and stuff to pull off. Yeah. So let's get back to work. All right, we went ahead and popped that off real quick. It wasn't too bad. Just those 4 bolts on either, or 2 bolts on either side. That's all popped off. Now it's time to get this fender off, and boy, do we have a lot of bolts all the way around here. There's some down there. There's some underneath on both front and back, all the way around the inside. We've got some in here, and then there's 2 up through there. I'm just gonna go ahead and start pulling them out, but I am gonna have to jack it up so we can get into here because the tire's real close. So this piece of trim right here is jacked up. This is gonna give me an opportunity to decide whether or not I want to put the trim back on the truck. I did snag up some trim off of one of my fellow viewers, actually. I really appreciate him having the parts. That was awesome. Alright. Now you gotta pull out here. Oh, where'd that go? There it is. I had to pull off that plastic nut that holds on this light. Twist it. We'll push that back in there. I mean, you guys can see, this fender is hammered. I mean, it took a big hit up here. And I've already done some work to it already. And this is just the best I could do, you know, at the time. I mean, you can see it. The trim is all dented and bent. So I don't know. I gotta decide whether or not I'm gonna keep the trim or not when it comes to bodywork time. I have all of them except for a replacement piece for this, and then the piece that goes on the back side of the fender there. So you got one, send it my way, and I might keep the trim. But at least I have things like this to make it go a little bit faster. That's another half. All right, those 2 are halves. Really, 7/16. Was not expecting that.
That is eaten up.
Yeah. can see it. As soon as I loosen these up, this whole thing like moved. How much tension is on all this stuff right here.
You think the
7/16.
You think the frame's bent in it?
No, I don't think the frame is bent at all. The frame is like one of the nicest things about this truck.
I'd say so, especially for how old it is.
Right. It still has the numbers on it from the factory. They painted numbers on it in yellow. So how much that moved? Okay, so there's not one in there. But we do have these two, yeah. I thought there were two here. You want to grab that one from inside there?
We're
Actually, no, you don't have to do that one, I don't think. We'll find that. Guess it's time to see if we can just slide this thing off of here. This has got a lift. There's also spacers underneath on here. And they're like little thin plates. I want to make sure it'll stay on there. This thing's jacked up though. Oh, wait. There's one we're forgetting. So put that back where it was.
inside the door.
Yeah, inside the door. I'm gonna go ahead and set this back there, because we already got through. There's one we missed. It's hard to see, but it's right there. So I need to get that one out right there and we'll be good to go. All right, I think it should be good to come up now. Always something I forget.
Make sure it kind of loose and everything, and then
Go. Grab that antenna out there. I got the fender. You can let go and then go around there and grab it. Alright. There's the fender off. Holy cow. Alright. I've had to do quite a bit of adjustments on this inner fender because, you know, if the fender was dented, you know that was dented too. I got sweat in my eyes. It burns. Set this on here, see if we can get it bolted up. It's already getting pretty warm out. Go over. Got my spacers back in here in the same spot. We're getting somewhere here. A lot of this stuff is kind of kinked up, but we're gonna make it work. I think I should have all these inside. Yep, those are all done there. All right, so it's just reversing the process. Now I think we can start putting some nuts and bolts in this thing, start getting it lined up. We did get the fender on. I've got it all lined up pretty well. That inner fender was pretty whammoed, so I had to make some adjustments to it so I could get this thing to fit right. But I mean, I've got the body gaps pretty good. Door opens real nicely on here. Doesn't bind up on me. Doesn't make any noise. So we're good there, but I'm pretty wore out already. It's starting to get pretty hot already, so I think this is where we're gonna call it. I think tomorrow I'm gonna try to get the hood on. We'll get the hinges on, or get this hinge on. We'll try to get the hood on and see what it's gonna take to get that all taken care of. I did go ahead and I'm gonna leave this front bumper off and the grill and all of this. I'm gonna leave that off for now. That way, when I go to put this hood on and I go to set it down, I can actually see what I need to do here. Because from my understanding is I'm gonna have to move this latch one way or the other. I'm not sure. So we're gonna find that out tomorrow, whenever we get to that. And I think because that other bumper I snagged up with these two fenders, I think that one's in a lot better shape than my other ones. So I'm probably gonna slap that one on, and we'll give it a good clean too, get it polished up. And then I think I'm gonna be thinking a while about whether or not I'm gonna keep this trim on here or not. I kind of like it without it. I also like it with it, but I don't have that piece, so I don't know. I'm gonna have to really think on it. Gonna need to get the antenna taken care of. We still have the wiper arm mechanisms I need to swap over, but that, again, we'll get to that tomorrow or the next day. We got a few days that we can work on it here. But I'm gonna go in, get a shower, get cleaned up, cool down a little bit, get some water in me before I get too dehydrated. So I'll check you guys out tomorrow when we get back to work on Ramona. What's up, guys? We're back on another day of working on Project Ramona. We got that fender on the first portion of this. It was quite a bit of work. That inner fender was actually pretty buggered up, as well as the front portion, what bolts to the inner fender. That was pretty buggered up as well. So I had to do some hammering to make it fit. And I mean, it is fitting really good. The body lines are lining up really nice. Me and Mikkel, we got the hood bolted on. You know, it's kind of loosely on right now. It won't actually close and latch because there's a couple things I need to do. As you guys can tell, I mean, the body lines, they're lining up really nice. Got a good gap on the door here. It opens really nicely. No issues there. You can see where scratched up a little bit there, but oh well. Still need to get into the wiper arm mechanisms here. I need to flip-flop these because when I got my truck, they were out, and I just put them back in how I thought it needed to go, and I accidentally flip-flopped them. So I need to take this one and move it over there, and that one and move it over here, because the wiper arm on the driver's side is actually going past the windshield, and you know that obviously tells me this side is needs to be moved over there, because this side actually moves more. But when it comes to the hood, there's a few things that you could do when it comes to trying to get it to where it'll latch and all that. So you could take this portion here and move it to the driver's side about an inch or so, or you can move where this little rod up here goes over to the passenger side, or roughly about an inch. And you might be able to see I've got a couple of holes here where I've kind of mocked it up, where I'm going to be moving this instead of the actual mechanism, and that's because of there's a little structure underneath there, and it would just be a pain in the butt to actually bolt that up after the fact. So we're just going to move the latch up here, and then I also need to cut a rectangle hole out of this, because when you close the hood, it actually the latch down here actually makes contact with that portion of the hood, so I need to cut a rectangle out of there so it'll make room. But after that, I should be able to get some nuts and a nut and bolt and washer on this side of it, and then on here, so just so I can hold the actual rod itself. The striker rod is what they call it, I think. I bought a brand new one off of LMC, and that just goes right there. So we're going to be moving it over roughly about an inch, and that should get us taken care of on the latch. And then if I need to make any kind of adjustments from there, you know, slight adjustments, I can actually take the latch mechanism off right here and just notch out these holes just a little bit to move it over to the right just a little bit. So it shouldn't be too hard. So I think what I'm going to do first is I'm going to mark up a rectangle up there, and I'm going to get to cutting that out, and that way I can actually fully mount this, and we can try to work on getting this latched up and get it fully working. Alright, I went ahead and pre-drilled these just to make them to where my bolts fit, but I need to make a mark on here so I know where to cut, and I can see where it's been rubbing right here, and then also right here. So let me show you guys where it's touching and see if I can even give you guys a view of where it's touching, and I'll show you what I'm working with. Alright, I got a flashlight in there. I'm going to slowly close this, see if I can give you guys a good view. Alright. Yeah, it's going to be really hard to see, but you guys can maybe tell right in there. I need to cut that rectangle out so that right there will actually not hit the hood. So let's make my mark. Doesn't have to be perfect. but I think I'm gonna do right there. I gotta leave room for my spot here, so I'm probably gonna move up just a hair. Make another mark. Alright, that leaves, I think that leaves enough material. Just connect the dots. So I need to cut that out. So let me get my safety gear on and let's cut that out. Alright, I got, there's 2 layers in there actually, which I kind of knew. So I'm gonna have to try to get this second layer out. I was able to cut through it on the sides. I just don't want to cut too much into the sheet metal there. Let me see if I can get that out of there somehow. I was able to score it enough without going too much into that, I think. Alright, so that gives me my hole. Now I'm gonna need to clean that up some. So I think I'm gonna take my hammer and dolly, or hammer and something like this, just to kind of hammer this around. I'm gonna file some of this, I think. Make it a little less cut my finger open, you know. That hole is in there. It's not the prettiest. I had to go a little bit on the outside there, but oh well. Not that worried about it. Just want to make it work. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and put my striker rod in here, and we're gonna see how everything lines up. If I need to make any more adjustments, I'll do it down on this. I'll just open these slots up just a little bit more so it can go just a hair more that way, and I think we'll be okay. So let's get that on there, and let's see what it's gonna take to get this on. I'm gonna be doing the original bolt with a nut and a lock nut and a washer on in there. See if we can get this on there. Did clean it up pretty well with my little tool. Be helpful if I could use my hand. That way I can get him in there. It will help out because this, like I said, this is double plated in here, so it should be nice and strong. There's that one started. Let's see how challenging it's going to be to get this on here. Washer's on. This is going to be the tricky part. Did I get it? I think I did. Let's snug it up nice. This is going to be the one, I guess, that's really difficult. Yeah, I guess I can get to it like that. Alright, I guess we'll see how close I am. Alright, that should have gave me clearance. My only thing is I think I'm going to have to adjust on this just a little bit and make it to where this can move over to the driver's side a little bit. Let me see how this goes. Oh no, that's actually pretty lined up. It's latched. Holy cow. All right, let me go make sure the unlatchy thing works. This was first try, I would be so happy. Uh-oh. I think I got the spring, I took the spring off. So, crap. Can I get my hand in there? I knew it was too good to be true. No, I cannot get my hand in there. Huh. One of you pull on that while I... Alright. Take two on it. I put the spring back on. So we're going to close it. Latch. So it should now just pop right open. And it did. Heck yeah. Now I can start putting the front of my truck back together. I mean, again, the hood's gonna have to come back off, but I can get all this put back on, so it's not looking so bare. So I guess let's get to work on putting that back on. So this is the actual outside shell and center section from the parts truck I got the Fender from, but this center section is busted, so I'm gonna put my nice one in it. And we'll get rid of this broken one because it's broken right here in the center. It might be able to be fixed, but I've got a good one. So, and this outside is better than mine. This one has a little ding right here, but mine is way worse, all in this area. So I just need to remove these screws from the center section, and I can move this over, or move mine into it. But this one's gonna need cleaned up. I'm also gonna be putting on the bumper I pulled off of that truck, because it's definitely a lot straighter. And that should come out. You can see where it's broken. Like I said, you could probably glue it back and fix it. So I mean, I don't know. If anybody wants it, yeah, we'll see. So we'll set that over here to the side and get it out of our way, because we're not gonna need this. I guess we can just go ahead and slap this on. Alright. It's just going to be putting Phillips head screws back in all the places that they go. How many of you guys have done this mod, the Birdbath hood? I've been wanting to do it for a long time now, and I've been putting it off. And this hood isn't perfect by any means. It's going to need a lot of work, and honestly, it probably wouldn't be a bad idea to try to find one that's in better shape. But I couldn't pass this one up being $40. You know, and a coat of paint won't hurt it either. So we'll do a little bit of work to it. As you guys can tell by the letters there, if you guys noticed that before, those are letters from the military. So this hood was on a military truck at some point in time. Either a military, because it's got that OD green or olive green, olive dab green or whatever it's called on there, and that. Usually are on those military vehicles and like the state park vehicles too, I guess. But those are usually the tannish color, I thought. Alright, so you just gotta put the two in on both bottom sides, and then this will be on, and we'll need to get our center section. So let me get those taken care of. So yeah, as you guys can tell, mine is in way better shape. So I'm gonna put mine on. This one seems to be tweaked a little bit. Like it needs to be done like that. But it'll be alright. Let's put this grill in. Daughter got a new chair from her big brother, so I'm using her old one out here. Put my bulb back in. I took my bulbs out so I didn't break them while I was doing all this. Back in, we can put our headlight buckets back on. It's gonna start looking like a truck again. It's exciting. Last thing I gotta do is bolt up the new bumper. I had to cut the old bolts off because they were frozen on there. So that took a little bit of time. But just reusing my old hardware, it's working just fine. Just have to snug all this up. Went ahead and saved you guys the trouble of watching me struggle move these around because those things are a pain in the butt. But I got it all moved around and that's all good to go. So I have heard that you cannot use the 86 to 89 or 91 wiper cowl with this, but I do have the one that actually goes with the Birdbath hood. It's over there in the corner. It's a tan color. Let's throw this on here, and then we're about done with this job. So let's get that on. We'll get the wiper arms on, and then we can take a look at how she looks now. All right, it's all back on other than the wiper blades. Make sure this all closes and yeah, see the center of this hood is down. Either that or that piece is not the one I thought it was. Yeah, I don't think this is from the 6070s model. I think this is the same as what I got. Yeah, it has to be. Yeah, it is. I can tell because of this right here. It actually goes up to match the curve of that hood. So this is the exact same as what I got. So, well, unfortunately, that's not going to look right without the right one. So I might have to keep an eye out for one. Because, like I said, the center of the hood is actually down. What did I do with that? The center of the hood right here is actually lower. And I'm pretty sure that's not the hood. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that is that cowl. That cowl is not the right one. So, well, I guess I'll go ahead and pull that one off and put mine back on. At least the color matches. Well, it's about 2 days later. I went ahead and got that red wiper cowl put on. I did go ahead and swap my grill surround back to my original one. The one that came off that parts truck was just a little too damaged for me. The driver's side was twisted. It had a dent over on the driver's side, which mine has a little small one too, but it's not as bad as that one. And you know, just looking down the front of this, you can tell that this one is just way straighter. So I went ahead and took care of that off camera. Not really too big of a job. But you know, when it comes to the hood, I'm not super thrilled about that gap there at the meeting of the cowl and the hood itself. But I mean, I'm not gonna worry too much about it. You know, I'm just gonna have to try to see if I can find one of those wiper cowls that will match this hood. You know, it is what it is. I'm super happy with how straight this bumper is compared to the one I had on my truck. The only thing I got to do now is just put on the little vanity tag that I have on my truck. Just got to put that back on the front. I'm gonna take and we're gonna need to clean it up. But you know, we still have body work to do on this truck, a hood. I mean, we've still got a lot of work ahead of us. So yeah, it is what it is. But I do appreciate you guys, you know, tuning in, hanging out with me while I got some work done to Ramona. It's been a while since I've gotten to do anything to her because I've been working on, you know, Black Pearl so much. But again, I do appreciate you guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you guys next time.